Hello and welcome, and thank you for stopping by. Today, we're going to quickly talk about the free and open source flashcard application called Anki, the technical aspects of it, how to create decks, how to import, export, etc. And then later on, we're going to delve into some of the scientific aspects, why flashcards are good, and why the vocabulary only approach rather than learning complex grammar is good. But you can skip right through that if you're just interested in the technical aspect. So sorry, something's up with that. Let me go back. Okay, so apps.anki were downloaded. Pretty straightforward. Even Google App Store. The thing is, the Android and the desktop apps are free. iPhone apps are actually paid, so unfortunately. But this app is actually good. It might be worth it. So I'm going to show you the desktop app only. So you have the import and export options. I'm going to show you a little later how it works. The first thing, you click on the decks, assuming that you already have your own decks and you created or you imported. You click on it and start using it. But I'm going to get back to it, a demo, a little later. There's another thing they have, it's called Anki Web. All the cards you've created, you can sync with the online world, and then the multimedia, only the text portion gets synced. So suppose you don't have your computer with you, and then you can, and you're okay without multimedia, just the text portion, you can use this one. So you have to create an account and log in and sync your app with that. It's pretty simple to do that. So another thing they have is shared decks. People create their own decks. You can use those. Language learning is obviously very popular in here. So in this example, I'm just going to download one of those Russian learning decks. So you hit download. So and then this thing gets downloaded. Nothing complicated here. And the file that gets downloaded has an extension APKG. And of course, then when you hit file and import the English everyday idioms, gets part of the deck. Now we're going to go into we're going to open up one of the decks and show you how to use it. To use this software, you're going to start off by clicking on decks. We're going to pick on the deck we want to learn today. And let's say we pick Russian today, like every day. But now, what happened here? All right, so what happens is the principle of spaced repetition says once you're done for the day, it won't show you, the software won't show you the same cards again. So since I practiced this deck in the morning, I reviewed all the cards, it's not going to show me again. This is controlled by options, and it'll tell you that every day I'll only see 100 new cards, and then 200 cards, old cards that I've seen before in previous days, and that the frequency of all cards will be determined by the difficulty level. The hardest cards will appear more frequently, and the easy cards will be more spaced apart. So there is a way to overcome that. Go to the cram mode, which you do to basically review all cards right before the test. But I'm going to talk about it in the end. Let's go to a deck that I have not studied today. So I'm going to go here, click Study Now. And here you see the first card will show stuff. Like I have to guess, I have to answer what does the middle thing mean, one of these words, right? It's like a multiple choice question. I don't know that. So I'm going to see the answer. It's make allowance for. Well, this is something I have never heard of it. This is something I'm having a hard time remembering. So I want to see this card a few times today. So I'll hit it again. That means, remember, more frequent is more difficult. So I hit it again. And the next one, I don't know. I've seen this. I kind of remember it. It took me a while to remember. So I want to see it tomorrow. So I give it a gap of one day. But if it's like I'm very, very fluent, I remember it very well, I can also say 4 days later. Or it's something I really, really, really remember. In that case, I can say bury card. In that case, you will never see that card again. That's pretty much. In this example, I'm going to create a card for Tuesday. We're going to use translate.google.com. If you haven't used it before, it's very trivial, easy to learn. And then I'm going to type in the English word. So what I do is, instead of typing just Tuesday, I find it easier to write it and more natural to write it in a full sentence. And there's a possibility that by association, it might end up remembering the other words too, like eat and bread. So once the translation appears, I'm going to hit play.
Во вторник он ест хлеб.
Once that happens, you'll see that in the page source, which you can get it by pressing F12 on your keyboard in Chrome and Firefox both. And then you can click on the network tab here. Sometimes this whole thing might appear at the bottom here. So, and then you click on media, and you see that the moment you play the sound,
Во вторник он ест хлеб.
You will see a new media file gets generated. So you click on here, you say open a new tab. So in this tab it opens, and
Во вторник он ест
so the MP3 file gets saved in your local computer. You have to do another step, that you have to download this file. When you do that, it's going to get downloaded here on your download folder, whatever the default folder you have. Now you go back to your, it's better to keep it clean, close this, and then first thing I'll do is copy this. That's probably an easier way to copy this. Use Control-C. And in our flashcard application, I'm going to copy this. But here's the thing. We have to make sure that the emphasis is on this card, Tuesday, and not the others. Others are just to help you. So I'm going to also add the file. We just downloaded the MP3 file that went to the downloads folder, the last step. That. And this flashcard application will actually play it for you. So you make sure that that way you know for sure that the correct file got uploaded. It's easy to mess things up. So now we got Tuesday. So you know it's Tuesday. We're going to make it bold. Now, another thing I do is mnemonics. So Vtornik sounds like turnip to me. Vtornik. That's the only closest word in English I found. Sometimes I speak several languages, so I found turnip. Vtornik sounded like turnip. So maybe it's going to help me remember things if I see the picture of the turnip, and I will write a funny caption saying Turnip Tuesday. Turnip Tuesday is my caption. So maybe when I recall, so I hit add. So when I recall it, all these things might help. The Tuesday turnip, the picture, all of that. So that's the idea. Remember how earlier I couldn't study the Russian deck anymore because I'd finished studying it? Now I can actually overcome that and go into a cram mode if my exam is tomorrow, test is tomorrow. I'm going to go to Browse, and then I'm going to pick that deck, which is Russian, and all these cards will appear. You can go to preview, and then all these cards will appear one after another. This is the answer, the question. Then the answer appears here. And as we browse through the cards, you'll see that I'm making extensive use of cartoons basically mnemonics. And one of the videos I link will talk to you about mnemonics too. One of the things I'm doing that it's an advantage for me being multilingual. I'm actually bringing in references from other languages that I know that kind of sound similar, and then gives me a cue, and I'm putting related pictures of that. It's going to be, as a English speaker, probably you'll be confined to just using English mnemonics. But now let's go to the theory part. The Wikipedia article on flashcards actually gives you a good understanding of what spaced repetition is. Feel free to Google more if you're interested. There are some good videos on spaced repetition. But you know what? I'm very convinced that it works because it's scientifically proven. So I straight went into the spaced repetition. It's been working for me. So this tutorial is a comprehensive, very good article on Anki and space the repetition, and then some advanced usage of Anki. And I highly, highly recommend this tutorial. The last thing I would recommend is why this is a video, and there are multiple videos also that says why you should never learn grammar when you're learning a language. I'm an example to that. I speak about 6 languages, and the one that was the hardest and that took me the longest was English, because it was taught in school and they taught grammar. Never learn grammar, just learn the vocabulary and then immerse yourself. This is a very good video on that. Well, that concludes today's video. Thank you for your time. Feel free to comment and give me a feedback, and also check the links in the description. Thank you.